Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James, SchoolTrade.com, and of course it's August 17th, 2010, guys. Here's your live stream recap. Happy Tuesday to you. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We're back in the swing of things here on Tuesday morning. But before we talk about the trades we took today, we took three total trades, made about 40 ticks. I want to remind you guys of the blog. On the blog, guys, you want to make sure you're following our blog or at least be on the newsletter. That way you're always getting all the new stuff that comes up. And don't forget, you've got the YouTube page there, Twitter, Facebook, you've got live support up top, and all the way to the top, don't forget to use that search box, right? The search box will help you guys find pretty much every topic you guys want to talk about here on our blog. All right, if you're looking for more information about that, guys, you know where to reach us, but make sure you guys follow the blog. And if you can't follow the blog, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. That way you get all the new stuff. As you can see here, we took 3 trades today. We took 2 on crude. The last one on crude was really kind of a disappointment. We'll talk about that for you guys in a second here. So 2 on crude, 1 on Russell. The big winner today was the Russell. As you can see, 44 ticks. That's 440 USD. That brings us to 1370 for the week. We're just shy of 15,000 for the month here so far, in the month of August. Guys, we're having a great month, guys. Our goal is always 10 grand on 4 contracts, and so we're well over that goal here for the month of August. So we can kind of take the pressure off a little bit here now and really make sure we're taking the right trades here because, as you guys know, summertime, little bit different application of our rules and our method, guys. So come out and join us tomorrow, and we'll talk more about how we apply those to our summertime trading hours. Now, what's the most important thing that happened today? Well, again, very slow and sloppy at the open. Today was one of those days where we really kind of felt it was August, right? Previous to today, we had days where we had seen slow price action, but we really hadn't seen just this sluggish, slow, right, kind of just blah, right? Nothing really going on. We still had gold still sitting sideways the highs, right? So gold had made all-time highs, and gold kept going sideways there. The euro, of course, kept going sideways as well. The euro being at the lows, right, with the dollar going sideways, it kept the euro and other currency futures quiet today. Now, crude continues to trade sideways at the lows right now, and we've got a long entry for that, but the crude was really challenging today. We'll talk about that in a moment. And the Russell led the way today, guys. The Russell led the way. The Russell continued making higher highs from yesterday. We, of course, knew exactly where we wanted to be buying those highs, and we bought the breakout, and we had the biggest winner of the day today on the Russell. So a really good day today. But today was one of those days, like I said, that really made us realize, hey, we're in the middle of August right now, and we need to really be careful about this, these slow, choppy markets. Now, here we are on crude. And guys, crude, of course, is still seeing signs, right, of this horseshoe pattern. And a horseshoe pattern looks like this. And what a horseshoe pattern does is when we see the price go up, and then start coming down, and while it comes down, we have these little swing lows here. And so what we're having right now is we've got this crude market here. If I can get my color here there. And of course, we're drawing trend lines right at these swing lows. And the reason why we draw those trend lines here at these swing lows is because as we change direction here, which is now what the crude is doing, now the crude is finding itself having a very hard time now trying to get back up right above all of these resistance levels now, right, that we've now added in. So I call this the horseshoe pattern. And I call it a horseshoe pattern just the way it looks, right? It looks like a horseshoe, right? And that's kind of what it looks like, right? Like a horseshoe. So I call it the horseshoe pattern. And again, you're going to be using a trend line here, right, marking up swing lows as it came back down because, as you know, right, these support levels will become resistance in the future, right? What was previous support will become resistance. So again, we call this the horseshoe, and you can see here on the chart, we've got all of these trend lines here, right? Trend line here, here, right here, here. We got all these trend lines here. And so now here we are chopping around sideways inside of the crude market. Now we did have one thing though, right? One thing that we knew right away here, and that was we were going to be a buyer above 76.59 and we'd be a seller below 26s. Okay, so a buyer above 76.60, right? And then of course a seller below the 26s. All right, guys. So that was pretty much where we identified where the highest percentage opportunities would be. Be a buyer above 76.50, right? Be a seller below 76.26. Okay, so that was pretty much what we thought from seeing this very choppy pattern here. Now, what we didn't get right away though was speed. And you can see here, guys, lower right hand corner, right? We have all this pace of tape, and you can see red to yellow, red to yellow, red to yellow. So what does that tell me? That tells me the speed of the market, right? Speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. Ready? Buy, 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 sell, 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 right? Right? All of a sudden, sell, 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 buy, 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 right? So what we're seeing here is we're seeing a big move up, right? Or down, of course, right? Big move, fast move up, and then it comes right back down, right? Fast move up, comes right back down. All right, so that's what we're seeing today on the crude. And that, of course, made our job very difficult. Now, what we knew, though, was we knew, again, if we go short, right, below 26s, and that was what got us into our first trade of the day now. Now, this was a pretty far way below 26s, right? 26s were way up here. But you can see right here, this is a 4-range chart now of the crude. And, of course, a 4-range is like an 89 tick, right, 1-minute chart, very much like a scalper time frame. And so here we were up top, right? There's the upper level here, right? There's my 26s. And so we were looking for an entry here short. Well, as you can see here, we have to get now down to the next level of support. And so there it is right there. There's my first entry short of the day below 26s. You'll notice up top here, we didn't have any room, right? There was no trade pattern here. So once we broke below 26s, we didn't have any patterns yet until we got below basically 75s. And at that time, of course, at 10:15, we took our first trade of the day here on the crude. Okay, very small winner here. 2 off at 5 is 10. 2 off at 2 is 2. And of course, 10 plus 4, right, 14, 140 USD. So our first trade of the morning here, guys, on the crude, a breaker pattern short. Again, we knew we were going to sell below 26s. The first opportunity we had, we got all the way below 76 even, 75.75, and we took our breaker short from there, and we locked up 140 bucks. So knowing ahead of time where we're going to be going on this, that's what really made our job a lot easier. And then, of course, right, we took our third trade of the day on crude, was at 11, right, 11.11. Now, this is one of those frustrating examples, guys, because as you can see here, what do you see? This is my 13 range chart. I've got a wedge pattern, right? There's my wedge high, there's my wedge low. Now, right here, we had nailed a short trade, but we just couldn't get our hands on it because it was so slow and sloppy. And we had, remember those trend lines we drew on 34 range? We had a bunch of these trend lines here holding us up. So it really became a difficult sell short. In fact, we posted that in our blog. And as you guys saw here, this really became a difficult pattern to take short inside the wedge. So what did I do? We simply waited. We waited for price now to break above the wedge. And when it did, that's when we got our potential first trade here on this 13 range chart, all right, here on the crude. So we mark up my swing high, we break above that swing high. Now here's what happened. Once I got into this trade, my first target, if you guys were with us this morning, our first target was at 55, right? That was my first target. I got 54. And then once I saw 54, momentum then curled and pointed down. And so, of course, I'm sitting there, right? We didn't get the first target filled. I missed it by 1 tick. I give it 5 or 6 more seconds. Momentum then curls and points back down. We see sellers in the tape. What's a trader to do? I now have all my indicators now telling me get out of this trade. And that's exactly what I had to do. I moved my stop up to entry plus 1, and I got bounced out at entry plus 1. Okay, this actually made us 40 USD, right? Or 4 ticks, 4 times 1. But guys, what I want you guys to see here, though, is this is a great example. Now, the reason why I was a little bit late to this one here, as far as managing the trade, was I was in the Russell still. So this was one of those examples where don't do too much here, guys. What I did was I took the Russell trade at 11.08. While I was managing my Russell trade, I took the crude trade, and the crude trade, as you can see here, I missed that first target by 1 tick. Now, the right thing to do there would have been to see that 1 tick, move that target down, get that target filled, and then move your stop up, right? That would have been the better way to do it. But, of course, if you're not paying attention like I wasn't, I mean, I was paying attention, but I wasn't there, right? I wasn't right there waiting for it. So a good example of how you can make your job more difficult by trying to do too much. So learn from my mistakes here, guys. And the big learning lesson here was, if you know your target's 55, and you see 54 being tested, move that target down 1 tick and get that thing filled, especially in the month of August. All right, guys, let's keep moving. Now, we had the Russell up next. And the Russell actually gave us the biggest trade of the day. The Russell made it pretty easy on us too. Now we had a bunch of resistance here, guys. You can see we had a sideways range here. Now this, of course, is my 34 range chart. So here's my sideways range. And of course, we're going to sell the highs, right? We're going to sell short, or we're going to buy long. Now what we said was we're going to buy long here above 25.2.